This is Entertainment Tonight for Monday, February 3rd, 1997. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Goen.
And I am Mary Hart. Now, normally on Monday, we tell you which brand new movie is at the top of the box office. The latest Cruise, the newest Travolta. Well, forget about them. A 20-year-old movie left all the new guys in the dust. The Force was definitely with Star Wars.
Red 5, I'm going in.
With a take of over $36 million this weekend, the Star Wars accountants are laughing all the way to the bank.
$36 million for a 20-year-old movie is amazing.
When we interviewed Star Wars creator George Lucas just days before the re-release of the movie, he had his reservations on how it would do.
Nobody's ever actually reissued a live-action film since videos come out. And nobody has any idea what's going to happen. It's a big mystery.
They call this a re-release, but it's never gone away.
Star Wars has indeed never gone away. The film has generated an astounding $4 billion in revenues in 20 years. Ticket sales for the three movies in the trilogy have earned over $1.3 billion, and toys and cards have raked in $1.2 billion, with another $200 million expected this year. The stars of Star Wars themselves are spaced out over their characters' lasting appeal.
I like it because he's a brother.
Why they like Darth Vader, I don't know. My son hates him. My son's 14. And when he first heard it when he was 3, he just really scared him. And he couldn't understand why his father was contributing to the evil. I signed your lack of faith disturbed.
Princess Leia, why not?
Into the barber suit, Flyboy.
It has changed my life, and it's made me at 57 years old, the oldest princess with a bad hairstyle, to continue to be written to as though I'm 19.
The Force will be with you, always.
Oh, and 2 more installments to come in the epic trilogy revival. The Empire Strikes Back will be back February 21st. Return of the Jedi returns on March 7th.
Good evening, I'm John Marlin.
And I'm Kim Kerrigan.
20 years ago, the Star Wars trilogy began. 2 decades later, the Force is back.
7 Entertainment reporter Sarah Edwards talks with George Lucas about the stellar anniversary of Star Wars.
20 years ago, a young, relatively unknown director by the name of George Lucas created a space fantasy that made him a force to be reckoned with. Now the entire Star Wars trilogy, featuring Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and that lovable droid C-3PO and his pal R2-D2, along with the arch-villain Darth Vader, has been restored for release on the big screen. There are a lot of purists out there, George, who may say, why tinker with the classic? But you were actually quite dissatisfied with Star Wars 20 years ago.
Yeah, the film was never really finished in my eyes. I've been able to actually fix it and put a lot of things back in that weren't in before.
One thing Lucas couldn't wait to change was this scene with a devilish Jabba the Hutt. Lucas cut it from the original Star Wars. The stout man next to Harrison Ford was a stand-in for a Jabba they planned to add later.
We didn't have the time and money to do it.
In the restored version of Star Wars New Hope, they add a computer-generated Jabba to the scene. The Lucas team also remastered a new digital soundtrack.
Now you can see the picture clean and sharp and hear it the way it was meant to be heard.
What was your favorite scene in the first?
I don't know. I was, in going back and looking at it, I was pretty impressed with the end battle, which was the most complicated thing to put together.
More fighter spacecraft have been added. Was it worth it in the end for the father of the trilogy?
For me, it's been a very rewarding experience. And I like to make movies, so to me, that's sort of the main motivation behind everything that I do, is just to make a movie and tell a story.
I got a little cook, but I'm okay.
Star Wars New Hope opens this weekend. Many shows are already sold out in Boston, and George Lucas is gearing up to direct the first of 3 totally brand new Star Wars films. The Force is still with him. Sarah Edwards, 7 News.
That's going to do it for 7 News at 11. I'm Kim Kerrigan.
I'm John Marler. The Tonight Show with Jay Leno is next. Good night.
Only we have the changes to the Star Wars sequel and the Star Wars Superstars. Where are they now?
I am C-3PO.
Your favorite comeback space heroes get big screen, big star competition from Pierce Brosnan and Fran Drescher. But what about the actors who became big stars because of that little movie from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away? Well, E.T.'s Leonard Maltin has the latest on the stars of Star Wars.
Skywalker will join us or die.
The Star Wars trilogy continues its assault on theaters with the special edition of The Empire Strikes Back. And only E.T. can show you these amazing scenes with improved special effects and new footage, including Luke's struggle with a more terrifying Wampa. But even with all this wizardry, Star Wars creator George Lucas knows it isn't just special effects that make his film a classic.
A film, to be successful, relies on 2 feet. One is the story, and the other are the characters.
Get in there, you big I don't care what you smell. 20 years ago, Harrison Ford was a struggling actor, working as a carpenter between roles. But his performance as Han Solo charmed audiences and led to stardom and a long and successful career.
You're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
When Luke Skywalker destroyed the Death Star, Mark Hamill became a hero to fans around the world. These days, Mark's busy with a hero he created, the Black Pearl, a crime fighter featured in a comic book series and screenplay that he hopes to direct. As for Star Wars, Mark's amazed by the success of the special edition.
That premiere surprised me. I mean, the wave of positive feeling coming from the grandstands after all these years was astonishing.
You may still think of her as Princess Leia, but Carrie Fisher is now a successful author and screenwriter. That doesn't stop fans from asking the same old question.
What's Harrison like? Is he a good kisser?
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2.
Anthony Daniels shined as Star Wars Prissy Protocol droid, and he's glad the sci-fi saga is back.
To see it now on this giant screen, and to see it with all these new gizmos in it, is quite magical.
Thanks, Leonard. And Anthony Daniels, the voice of C-3PO, lives in London, and he stays pretty busy with C-3PO character readings, and he has a voice role in a weekly TV cartoon series called Droid. And by the way, this weekend on ET, the newly restored and enhanced scenes from The Empire Strikes Back coming your way. This is Entertainment Tonight for Tuesday, February 18th, 1997. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Dolan.
And I'm Mary Hart. Well, from Batman to Star Wars, we have you covered tonight. In a galaxy far, far away, Hollywood, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher found themselves in a room auditioning for their roles in a new movie called Star Wars. Now you get the galaxy's first look at the Star Wars screen test in this Entertainment Tonight exclusive.
No, this is impossible. Nobody dares venture near the system of Alderaan. I'm freebooter, boy. Not a revolutionary. You're on the wrong ship.
Maybe the fact that no one would venture there voluntarily could work to our advantage. They probably don't think anyone would dare try.
From those humble beginnings would come a legend. So ingrained in our minds are these characters that it's hard to imagine they actually had to audition.
I got him! Race him! Don't get cocky!
But that's just what struggling actors Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher did back in 1976.
We captured the plans in a raid on the Imperial shipyards, but we fell under attack before I could get the data to safety.
Carrie Fisher was only 19 years old. Mark Hamill was 24 and thrilled for the chance just to test with then 33-year-old Harrison Ford.
This is not a game, you know.
I knew him from American Graffiti and from The Conversation and some other movies, and immediately I was awestruck.
Don't you realize what's going on? Kid,
You take the glory and the good intentions. I'll take the reward.
fear is their greatest weapon.
I'm not afraid of anything. I read with Mark and Carrie and hundreds of other candidates.
When R2 has been safely delivered to my forces, you get your reward.
What?
You have my guarantee.
What's the little droid carrying that's so blasted important?
The plans and specifications to a battle station with enough firepower to destroy an entire system.
Somebody has to save us, kid. Ford thinks his continual presence during the test helped him get the part.
I know he tested other actors for the part. Well, he just got used to me. That's all.
This is where the fun begins.
Obviously, George Lucas liked what he saw. 20 years later, it's hard to dispute his choice.
The Force will be with you always.
All the stars had worked in Hollywood before. Harrison Ford had been in several films, and Carrie Fisher had made her debut in Shampoo. Star Wars was Mark Hamill's first movie, but he'd worked on General Hospital before he got the part. They all team up once again when The Empire Strikes Back Special Edition takes over theaters this Friday.
Who
directed the top-grossing movie of all time? Was it A, Steven Spielberg, B, George Lucas, or C, Francis Ford Coppola? Your answer is next in the E.T. Birthday. Closed caption.
Having a bash with the E.T. Birthday there today. Tim Ross celebrates number 36. Who directed the top-grossing movie of all time?
It's Star Wars director George Lucas. The force is with him today as he turns 53.
Some sort of force is at work on members of the Harper Valley PTA. The evidence is in Billy Ray Cyrus's new video of the classic song.
Yeah, and if you look closely, you can see E.T.'s Jan Carl going through an amazing transformation here. Here's a preview for you of tomorrow's E.T.
We'll see you there.
Bye-bye.